What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Guys, I got off an airplane a couple hours ago, got my kids fed, put them down to bed. That rhymed. And now we're just going to be streaming some drawing, having a silly goose time, and talking about why indie comic book creators are their own worst enemy. Let's do this, guys.
I'm all kinds of bad when I drop on the beat.
We're going to have a silly goose time tonight.
My hair, got your eyes on me. You need it, you want it.
What a week, man. Hope you guys had a good 4th of July.
Lollipop is poppin', 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 pop is lollipop is
Houston, we're ready for launch. I'm in H-Town. Wait, Chad, do you live in Houston? You don't have to dox yourself or anything. I'm going to Houston. I'm going to Houston in a couple days for some business. All right. Let's do this. Let's get everything set up and ready to go. Guys, this is an impromptu stream. Normally we don't stream on Fridays, but today we are. Just some updates on things. My Sexy Witch Academia #2 is now in the lettering phase. That should take about probably 2-3 days. After that, we get sent to the editor. You guys should be having those books digitally probably by the end by next week, or the week after. Give us a week. So probably 2 weeks. So that's going to be super exciting. Super Plumber Sisters is currently with the printers. Let's see. Bullet Assassin #2 pages have officially been sent to me as of tonight. So we're getting ready for that Kickstarter. We are getting ready for that Kickstarter, which is on Wednesday. This is awkward. Where is my video? Nope. Yeah, guys. Bold Assassin, Living in a Fantasy World, numero dos, is live on Kickstarter on Wednesday. And the line art is 100% complete already. So that is exciting. Chad, you live in Houston. Dude, if I can find some time to freaking break out, maybe we find some way to meet up. Maybe for dinner, who knows? Let's see. We got Mr. X in the house. We got Ichthus. What is up, Total Excellence? How was your 4th? Dude, it was great. It was great, man. I had a fantastic time. I went to Dallas, Texas, to be with my family. And it was really nice. It was nice. We just hung out. We're in the pool every single day. My kids loved it. I had to do some work. I interviewed probably 10 graphic designers for my job. So next week it's the battle of who gets the job, who gets to work with Tyler with this graphic designer job. So we'll see how that goes. I hate interviewing people because it's just you have these people's lives in your hand. You're like, oh, what are you gonna do about it? What are we gonna do? But it is what it is. It's just part of life. It's part of the game. Did meet this one girl who's really talented, and yeah, I'm rooting for her to pass her interview, her in-person interview. Rooting. Let's see. This week I finally get back into content creation, which I'm really excited about. It's probably been a good year since I've not a year, probably 6 or 7 months I've uploaded consistently on YouTube. So I'm getting excited about that. The reason why I need to start getting consistent again is because these live shows are going to start being inconsistent because, I was like, oh, I'm going to get back into live streaming weekly. But we're redoing this basement. So this is where I live stream. This is where I do all my comic book stuff. And I need to clean it all out, clear it all out of all my stuff. And I'm probably going to, while we build out this basement, I'm going to need to throw all my stuff upstairs in my child's room. And so then either one of the kids is going to sleep in with us, or they're going to, fingers crossed they can sleep in the same room together. And then my office will be there. So, we can't be being like live streaming, being loud during then, because the kids are going to be asleep. So we're going to have to figure that out as well. Like while the basement's being finished, I have to fulfill like 2 or 3 campaigns. So it's going to be gnarly. It's going to be an intense Q3 and Q4 of this year. Plus all the traveling that I'm doing. Like I still have trips that, I'm going to Houston in a couple weeks, not in a couple weeks, a couple days. I got to go to California. I got to go to Arizona. I've got to go to Baltimore. Then I have to go to Boston. Then I have to go back to Florida. Then I have to go to Georgia. It's nuts. Like my day job is nuts. But it's seriously the best. It's so much freaking hard work, but it's good. Stuff the kids in the closet and let their imagination go wild and smash the wall to expand the office space. Oh man. I will say, like, what's exciting is this. So when I started doing Draw and Talk, I was living at my grandma's house. So those first couple of videos were at my grandma's house. And then the next set of videos were in my apartment, because I was in this 1-bedroom apartment with my wife. And so those videos were in our kitchen. And then we moved, and then the next set of videos were in my kitchen, then my bedroom, then my closet, back into my kitchen, and then we moved. And I had a really cool little room up here that in my house I could call my own. We had our second child. He took over, jerk. I got thrown into the basement, which has been great, because I can go down. It's very quiet down here, and it's very cool. But it will be awesome to when the basement's finished, because I've got this graffiti on the concrete. I've got like freaking insulation just chilling here. So it'll be really cool just to have like a legit room that is 100% finished. I can build out this room exactly how I want it, and then just create some fun content. So I'm excited. Got this artist got artist that, dude, I think I've commissioned this guy like 7 different pieces. It's fantastic. I remember the 1-bedroom apartment with the kitchen backdrop. Classic Draw and Talk, and I remember those days. Yeah, man. Freaking nuts. Oh, I do remember my second apartment that I lived in with my wife. I had this really big bedroom all to myself, like room. My wife and I did a stream on there once. It was crazy. It was like super blue. It had like all these LED lights in there. It was sick. Yeah, Boston, just for like 2 days. I'm going to like some Google Summit or something. All right, let's get into this today, guys. Real quick, so that we did the updates. I just nailed down an artist for another 20-page one-shot. I'm getting into these 1-page one-shots, these 20-page one-shots for next year. Throw out some fun ones here and there. So, like, we're going to have my Q coworker wants to kill me and then marry me. That's one. We have Samurai Penguin Blade. That's another. And then I just nailed the artist for another one called Our Music Kills Kaiju. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a silly use time with those books. And real quick, before we get into like things, is I want to thank Mr. X for this splendid review of Super Plumber Sisters #2. Seriously, very kind of you. Really enjoyed it. And I think my favorite part of the whole review was this part? When you're like, come on, girl, they don't give a damn at this point. Because, you know, throughout this story, you're really seeing Mara, Lucia, Winnie, and Wanda just fighting and quarreling literally the whole freaking book. And yeah, it's just funny. I will say, I think my favorite line, I'm glad you didn't spoil it, actually. I think my favorite line is after this moment, after this page, with the crab. And Winnie goes to Lucia and she's like, why did you, like, what took you so long to save me? And I thought Lucia's answer to that was pretty funny. So yeah, thank you so much. Like, this review means the world to me. You have no idea. So this is what we're gonna do, though. Like I said, this is just a chill stream. It's just a chill stream. While we do this, we're gonna talk about why indie creators are their worst enemies. And I've been thinking about this a lot, because sometimes I'm my own worst enemy. And I think it comes down to let's talk about why indie creators are their own worst enemy. Let's just get a couple of good points out there. These are just my thoughts and opinions. Let me know what you guys think. And then after that, we're going to draw hopefully 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 pages of the girl with the mega fist tonight if we're lucky. They're sketched out, so we just really got to ink over them. Let's turn this music off. You know, I've been talking to a lot of different creators. Just forgive my Winnie simping. No, man, we want people to simp over Winnie. She's simpable. No, I've been thinking about this a lot with various different between this stream and something else. All signs are pointed trying to get more work done today. You get some work, man. This is a work stream. Yeah, so I've been working with a couple creators on their marketing and stuff, and because of it, it's led me to like sit back and reflect and, you know, really like put my thoughts down and be like really concise on what I'm doing and what I'm saying. Hey, like, I think you should do this, and this is why, and this is how I'm doing it, and these are the results. And, you know, a lot of the times, me included, when we do things like marketing, when we make certain decisions in terms of business, we're looking just what's going to happen in a week or 2 weeks or a month, not like realizing that like the seeds that you plant today it might take like, you know, 5 or 6 years for them to blossom, and you might not see the results of them until like 5 or 6 years later. You might not see the results of them until 10 years later. Who knows? You know, I was talking with one creator, and they're like, man, it sucks that I posted this video and it got like 10 views. It freaking sucks. I think I'm gonna stop marketing. I'm like, well, stop. Like, who cares that it got 10 views? Make another video. Get a little bit better. And just try and get better with each and every single one. And who cares if it was only 10 views? That was 10 people who potentially might be interested in you and what you're trying to create. And so, like, for me, my thing is that this has been a big problem for me is I'm very anti-vanity metrics when it comes to like things outside of comics. And what I mean, so like if I have a boss who's like, hey Tyler, like, we need to get 100,000 views on this blog post, otherwise it doesn't do well. I'm like, well, why does it not do well? Like, what if I got 100 views on that blog post and I got 100 sales? Like, that's a good blog post. Like, if I got 1 million views on this video, but I made 0 sales, but that one video that did 10 views and made 10 sales, which video is the best? It's the 10 view one. And so, as someone who's like worked under people who have stressed vanity metrics, I've always been the one to say, hey, like, vanity metrics are not good. We're going to follow the business metrics, the sales metrics. And now as a boss myself at my current job, where I'm very much like in control of the company, I have to tell myself that, like, hey, vanity metrics don't count. It's all about the sales. It's all about the sales. Hey, how many views did that video get? 100? Oh, man, that freaking sucks. How many sales did it do? 1 sale? Okay. How much was that sale worth? $50,000? Okay, yeah, it was a great video. It was a great video. Fantastic video. And so vanity metric, but when it comes, so that's what, like, in business outside of comics, that's what I'm preaching. I'm anti-vanity metrics, except for when it comes to myself and my own personal comic book business. And that's where I am my own worst enemy, because even though I know vanity metrics don't mean anything, I have in the past been like, vanity metrics, I need them vanity metrics. And subscribers don't mean anything. Views don't mean anything. Like I said, you can have a 1 million view video. If it didn't bring in sales, like, what was like the point of it? Now, maybe it was audience building, in which case that's great. Did they come back for the next video? You can track all of this stuff in your YouTube analytics, by the way, in your TikTok analytics. Or maybe, it's just consistency. But if you're judging everything you do by vanity metrics and it makes you think you need to stop doing something, that's the biggest problem. When I talk to indie creators and they're saying, yeah, like I made like 10 videos and they only got like 50 views each, I'm giving up. It's like, dude, only 10 videos? You need to be doing this you need to start thinking in a 5 to 10 year span in terms of your marketing. You need to build up your name. You need to like fight for those first 100 customers and then fight for those next 1,000 customers. Dude, I'm fighting right now for like, I think I have a good core. I'm going to say 300 to 400, customers. I'm fighting right now to get to like a good core 500. And then I'm going to fight super hard for the next 750. And then I'm going to fight hard to get to that like straight up 1,000. That would be fantastic. But I honestly think that, when you oh my gosh. I just got like the coolest piece of art. Let's see if I can show it. Let me see that for Bullet Assassin. That's a thumbs down. Who the fuck is thumbsing down? We're getting thumbs downs here. It's a cool freaking piece of art. Oh, I gotta tell the artist I love it. I think at the same time, another reason, like, way that we can become our own worst enemies is sticking around with the wrong people. At some point, you do need to, of all the people to give me such advice was Heather Antos. Heather Antos gave me this advice. She said, she goes, you gotta stick with your graduating class. And there was some nuance to that. And what it meant was, it's like the people that you come up with, like those are the people that you need to, like, as they're progressing, you need to stay with them. And at some point you either stick with them or you surpass them. And if you surpass them, the smartest thing to do is, unfortunately, keep them around, obviously. Like, we're all friends here. We're pals. But once you've surpassed them, you need to start thinking differently than them. Maybe their advice isn't as strong anymore. If they say, oh, that's not what I would do. And then you go, well, maybe the reason why, maybe you should do it because if you did do it, it might work. Maybe you would be over here. And I think that sometimes we don't want to let go of this like past group because they support, friendship. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I'm still friends with like a ton of creators, and I'm of like all levels, like all the people who I think are above me, all the people who I think are coming up and below me, and people who like I want to be friends with freaking everyone. But you also have to pick like who you're gonna listen to on stuff, and who you're not. Like, are you gonna talk like straight up business talk with the person who maybe just did their first comic ever? Probably not. Probably not. But but still like hang out with them, still like show them a good time, still be their friend, still be there for them, help them grow. But at some point, you need to be okay with being like, hey, listen, that's not gonna work for me, like that, like this isn't gonna work for me. And sometimes it just happens as well. Like sometimes people like I was probably like I remember like 10 or 12 people that I was making comics with at the same time, and I think now like only like 3 of us are still making comics in some capacity. Like I remember there was this guy, his name was Don, and he created this comic called Snow White something. And I just remember like being like, dude, Don's the best. Like in our group of 10 people, because we were in this like group chat, I was like, Don is the best. Like, look at Don's book. And I bought it and I was like, holy crap, Don's book is the shit. Don is going to be better than all of us. And at the time I could barely draw like a stick figure. And I had no prospects whatsoever. I was the person who's like, when I finally get to do this, like that was who I was in that group chat. Like the dreamer, like you wait till I get into this, guys. But Don, like he put out a super good book and it was amazing. And he never put out another book after that. And then he just stopped making comics. And it was like, whoa, like where did Don go? And so many of the people that like I came up with just stopped making comics. And I remember I remember there was this one guy named Steven, and he was part of that group of 10 in that group chat. And I remember I finally learned how to draw some stuff, and I was like, hey Steven, like what's stopping you from making these scripts? And he was, he'd be like, oh, it's just too hard to write. It's too hard to write today. Oh, I can't find an artist. And I remember being like, hey, like I'll do some work for you for free. Hey, I was like, hey, like, let's do some writing things today. Like, I was really trying to like loop them in and be like, hey, like come with me, 'cause I want this and I know you want this. And dude, I remember like being like, Steven, I will draw a 3-issue series for you for free if you just write me the script. And he was like, and I would check up every week, like, dude, man, how's that script coming? He's like, I just got, it was just so hard this last 2 weeks. I couldn't write. I was like, oh, well, just send me what you have. He's like, I didn't write anything. And I'm like, oh, frick, okay. And I remember just after like a year of just being like, yo, Steven, like, can I help you? Somehow I was like, you know what? I can't be the one to help drive Steven over here. I can't. And so I was like, all right, like I'm done trying to help Steven. I'm done. Like if Steven wants to make comics, you have to figure it out. And Steven, like, I don't know what Steven's doing right now. Not making comics. He's not making comics, that's for sure. So like my point is, like, you have to. There are going to be people who surpass you, and there's going to be people who fall and just give up, and you have to figure out, okay, which examples am I going to follow, and like how do I keep myself being strong? But with that though, you can't force a horse to drink water at this point with Steven. No, exactly. You were believing in Steven. At the same point though, as well, like I was so invested in like Steven's success that like it was kind of putting down my own success. And I was so invested in Dawn's success. And there was a girl in there named Elizabeth, and like I was so invested in their success and what they were doing and what they weren't doing, that sometimes I spent too much of my time trying to solve their problems, and I wasn't solving my own problems. Or I was so invested in like, oh, how come I can't be more like Dawn? Or if I was Dawn, I would do it like this. Or if I was Dawn, I don't think Dawn should be doing it like this. I don't think Dawn should have done that. And like all that time and energy into focusing on what Dawn was doing with his Snow White book. Like I should have just been focusing on what I could do to get my shit up. And to get my stuff, get myself focused in making comics, because I was looking at Dawn like man, if I could be like Dawn, because like I seriously was looking up to this Dawn guy. I was like, man, Dawn and this Snow White comic is so freaking dope. I probably have it somewhere in like an old, like in a long box over here, and but I was looking at myself like, man, if I had what Dawn had, I would be doing this. And it's just so unproductive. It's so unproductive to be looking at what others are doing, and not for us to just, as creators, like focus on our own successes. Because here's the thing, and this is what I've been learning with like the businesses that I've been growing outside of the comics and stuff that I'm doing here, is that there are there are really successful people in indie comics, people that like maybe you've never heard of, and if you find them, like someone once said that all successful people leave clues, you just have to look for them. And so if I were to stop like looking at what all these other people, like all these indies doing, are my peers, the people who are like side by side to me, and looking at like, okay, what is someone who's just like light years ahead? What are they doing? And try to follow those breadcrumbs and try to like get some understanding. You can fast track and accelerate yourself faster than most indie creators. Because I'm going to say this, like most indie creators, they're not lazy when it comes to their art and when it comes to their writing, but they're lazy on everything else that pertains to growing their business. And if they were to go, if you were to go, hey, this is what you should do, A, B, and C, they would all probably say, oh, that's just too much work. And so if you can look at someone who's like uber successful, like light years successful, and you go, okay, this is what I want to do. And you start studying them, and you start trying to figure out, you start asking questions. Okay, why did they do that? Like seriously, there's like probably 10 different indie creators right now that like no one in our communities ever talk about. And I just see what they're doing, and I try to learn, all right, how do they do that? Because like a lot of people are like, oh, let's follow what Todd McFarlane's doing. Let's follow what Scott Snyder's doing and all these Marvel people. And that's great, by the way. But that's like, for me personally, none of that's going to work for me, because that's not where I want to head. I don't want to work for a big publisher like Marvel or DC. I don't want to, like, that's not a route that I want to go. And I know I have friends who do want to, and that's freaking fantastic. It's not what I want. And so I'm trying to figure out what I want. So when I say the things I say, it's because I'm saying the things I say because it's what I want. If you want to do your own thing, go do your own fucking thing. But a lot of creators are very lazy with like the stuff that they do for their business. They build a crappy website. They're cheap on their website, or they're cheap on their marketing. Like, I remember getting into an argument with someone like, yo, if you pay this $100, this could happen. And I show them my results, and I show them my results, and I show them another person's results, and this other person's results was like 1,000 times better than my results. And I'm like, they paid the same $100. And they're like, yeah, I just don't think it's worth it paying that $100. I'm like, you do realize that if you pay that $100 and you make that $100 and just $1 more, you're already in the green. And like this, I'm not doing that. And hey, if you were to make better content, you'd get better views and you get better results. I don't want to do that. I like right now I'm seeing a lot of creators. I've been talking with a lot of creators and they go like, well, what kind of content should I be making? And I'm like, well, what kind of content do you see people making? And they're like, oh, like live streaming. I'm like, yeah, live streaming has its place. Like I live stream here on Draw and Talk just to keep up with you guys, but like I'm building another channel right now that has 0 live streaming, and that's where I'm trying to do the most growth for me personally. That's like I'm trying to right now I'm trying to outsource everything. Script writing, video editing, all of that stuff. Like I'm trying to do as little as possible in terms of like the work that I have to put in. Like, let me hire someone that's really good to do that. But like, I remember like talking with the creator. I'm like, okay, what do you want to do? And they go, oh, like maybe I'll just EFAP people. I'm like, don't. I was like, please, for the love of God, don't EFAP. Like, if anything, like, cause like in my opinion, like EFAPing a video is like the most hands down, most uncreative, lazy piece of content ever. But if you were to take that clip, like take the actual clip, because sometimes creators, they just hit play on their EFAP and then they just let their audience like watch the video, and then sometimes they don't even commentate. And I know, like, grab the video that you want, commentate on it, edit it like a Cody Co video, make it engaging and make it fun. And like that's good. Then it becomes like a really good commentary video, rather than, and then it's like, a 5 to 10 minute commentary video that brings value to the viewer, instead of you EFAPing 4 videos in your live stream and you're just sitting there and everyone's just sitting there watching. It's just like I don't know. Donald says, EFAPing is a crowded market anyway. It's like the annoying guy that insists on showing you a video at the bar. Macabre Derek, as a person who primarily live streams, one of the drawbacks is it's all in that moment, content driven more by impulse and habit. Well, and here's the thing, like, if you want to grow as a live streamer, like primarily as a live streamer, to me, you have to be prepared to do even more work. We're going to make this hour, we're going to stream for an hour or two. And we're going to make sure that we hit these moments. Then when we hit these moments, we're then going to clip them. And then with these clips, these short 10 to 15 second clips, we're going to put them on TikTok. We're going to put them on Instagram Reels. And then we're just going to keep doing that every night. And that's how we're going to grow. And to me, it's like, that's a lot more work. And here's the thing. A lot of indie creators, they put in lazy effort and expect big results. And it's not like that, unfortunately, when it comes to marketing and business. When it comes to marketing and business, if you half-ass something, it's just not going to work. And if it does, something's going to bite. It's like something's going to bite you. Like eventually, like you will get caught up. Live streaming takes too much of your productive time away. Shorts are where it's at. Yeah, like I have that channel that I started. Like I've only done shorts so far, and it's done like just since last month, like 40,000 views just in shorts. But now now I have like a production team, so now we're gonna start doing like long form videos and whatnot. So that's where the focus is gonna be. Let's see. Ichthus, man, you used to look up to Dawn so much that later on everyone starts looking up to you. No one's looking up to me, man. It's crazy how things happen in life with just a simple focus on yourself and putting in the work. Angels of the Renaissance, what's up? We got Aaron at Wolfsbane Comics. We got Zebra Comics. Vincent Flanagan. That's why it's hard again to indies. Too few books and too late. Yeah, we don't like late books here. I have a late book. Unfortunately, which we're going to be working on today. I think my final thing is just like, is worrying about what your peers say about you. I think that's something that I struggled with for like 5 years. And finally I was just like, fuck this. Like, I'm doing whatever I want, because like the stuff that I watch and read in terms of manga and anime is typically trash. Like guys, I've seen every season of Love Is Blind, the reality TV show. Like that's my jam. I'm one of those people who watches it like the night of. And so when people say like, "Oh, Tyler makes like these like low effort, like crappy like stories," I'm like, that's fine if you want to call it that, but that's the content I consume. That's the content I consume. I read really trashy manga and I watch trashy anime and I really enjoy it and I have a fun time. Doing it. So yeah, but like with peers, like I used to get scared like that. You know, I remember pitching an idea to some friends and they were like, man, like that's such a stupid story, Tyler. And I'd hold it back. And I'd be like, hey, I want to kind of do this. And like, oh, that's stupid. Because the people I surrounded myself with, they're very much like, oh, we're going to work for the big two. We're going to do this. You have to do superhero stories. You have to be doing like Neil Gaiman stuff and Alan Moore kind of stories. And I was like, man, I just want to make fucking trash. Like, what's a man got to do to just make some trash? And finally, like last year, I just said, fuck it. I'm just going to make what I want. And so I did that experiment with My Sexy Witch Academia and it prevailed. Then I did Super Plumber Sisters and it prevailed. And then I went, oh, let's do Bullet Assassin and it prevailed. And it's like, oh, I finally get it. I'm finally like just making the stories that I want to make and it's working. So yeah, like seriously, like just make the stories that you wanted, like that you want. Seriously, like Super Plumber Sisters. You know, that's a parody. We have like my original stories are like The Girl with the Mega Fist, My Sexy Witch Academia, Bullet Assassin, Living in a Fantasy World. Those are my original stories. I mean, here's the thing. Super Plumber Sisters is an original story. Like, it's parody by, like, name, and, like, there are some elements where you're like, but it's really got nothing to do with Mario at all. Like, it's parody by some elements. But that's about it. But, like, nothing else I do. But, like, the rest of the story is pretty original. But I mean, are any stories original, or are they just like based off like our experiences, or is it just based off of like what we consume and what we enjoy? And go, hey, I have a take on that. A lot of people do that. We just have a take on that. Here at Darky Dark, I always live by this ideology: screw you, I do what I want. The point of indie is being able to make whatever they want. Why are we leaving mainstream pipeline just to play by its standards? 100%. Because a lot of indies are just mainstream rejects. Vincent nails it on the head, 100%. So yeah, it just depends. I think for me, I became a lot happier when I decided I'm just gonna make books the way I want to, tell the stories that I want. And yeah, I have people are pissed. Like, I have the amount of peers. I also hate the word peers because I don't consider most people peers. Like, oh, they're your peers. I'm like, fuck them. Like the amount of people who look down on me because I made Super Plumber Sisters. Like, oh, you're the guy who made the Super Plumber Sisters. It's like, yeah, I made a fun parody book. Like, what? It's four issues. Big whoop. Yeah, who gives a fuck? You know, the amount of people. But you know what? It sells like a lot. Like, I think like we've sold like thousands of copies. Like all together of the book. It's fantastic. You know, they always try to insult me. It's like, I've got original properties. I've got My Sexy Witch Academia, which started as a parody, by the way. When I pitched it on Kickstarter for the first book, it was pitched as a parody. And then as we worked on chapter 1, I completely rewrote the whole story. So now that it's something completely different than what it was. So now it's an original story. And then The Girl with the Mega Fist, that's an original story. Make what you want, guys. Make what you want. And if your peers like, oh, that's lame, that's stupid. It's like, well, What's your goal? Like, what's your goal? Like, is your goal to pitch this to Big Two? Is this goal to pitch to a publisher? Because if it's not, make whatever you want. Artelia, such great manga, just announced, so maybe witches are going to be in style. By the way, I thought it was really cool in that trailer that like they matched the art style of the manga. I thought that was cool. Vegs, we want to create stories just because it's fun. We don't need some corporate comic meddling or something like that. Dude, I'll tell you, like, not just the corporate comic meddling, we've just got people meddling. Like, we've just got other creators meddling. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to put on some music. We're going to draw some growth to Megafist. Appreciate the commentary, Tyler. Even if I come from the other end of the spectrum, I'm self-aware edgelord that makes no apologies for the love of boobs and blood, and I just enjoy creating. Dude, that's the thing. Just create what you want. Like, that's the thing. Like, just create what you want. Like, there's just so many people that I know who are like, oh, you're creating this. Like, you're crap. Like, you're a bad creator because you create this. It's like, okay, well, I'm enjoying what I'm creating. I don't know why you have such a problem with what I'm creating. Sometimes I feel like they're upset. Like, you know, I feel like sometimes they're upset. Like, oh, like, I can't believe you're making this. They look down on you for creating stuff. They're like, oh, I could have done that. It's like, well, do it. Oh, I don't want to. Fine, then don't. But I want to do it. Create what you want. I know people will have issues with my manga once it drops, waiting on the printers. Oh, that's exciting. Listen, there's only two people that matter when it comes to what you're making. You and your customers. In the indie world, that's all that matters. Not your peers, not a publisher, just you and your customers. And if people like it, fantastic. Make more. isn't the music a little loud on stream, or is it just me? If it's too loud, tell me. I'll drop it right now. Like, there we go. Tell me if that's too loud. I'll put it down. Ichthus, you'll be surprised, Tyler, how many comic people tell me you are an inspiration for comic creation. Well, I appreciate that. Here. Alright, is this better? Is this better? Alright. Well, we'll stick with here for now, and then if you guys tell me at this point if it's too much, if it's not good enough. You know, if I appreciate though anyone who thinks that I'm a inspiration on comic book creation. I'm not the best creator at all. Not a long shot. But I like to have a silly goose time, and I like to try. Like I like to try. Am I the best writer? Fuck no. Am I the best artist? Fuck no. But I'm always trying to get better. Like, just every day, I'm just trying to get better at something. All right, how's the music to talking ratio now? Hopefully it's better. One of my biggest regrets was not getting the 13-inch iPad. My uncle's wife brought hers to Dallas for the family trip, and I was like looking at it, I was like, gosh, freaking dang it, Tyler. Like, why did you not pay the extra like $300 to get this? I also I think a big problem as well with the indie community is like this need to be right. And I think we can't just present our ideas and then be like, all right, that was good. That was a good discussion. It has to be this I was right, you were wrong kind of thing. And I think when it comes to especially in the indie space, there really is no right or wrong answer. Sometimes it's just what works for someone and what doesn't work for them. Because what works for some people just isn't going to work for everyone. You can present the idea. I'm drawing with you. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we want to hear. Got Blight Blazer in the house. We got Mr. Goose. How you doing? How you doing? like I know, like for me, if I'm ever talking about like, oh, mainstream comics, blah blah, I'm just throwing out ideas. I'm not here to fix anything with mainstream comics because I've got no desire to be part of them. Now, don't get me wrong. If I ever got asked to do something, I guess I'd say yes. But this is gonna be a weird phase because it just got cracked. But it just presents ideas.
Qu'est-ce que je vais te nommer? Je vais te nommer l'amour, l'amour tendre, l'amour qui chante doucement dans mon cœur.
You better be drawing what I think you are, sir. I am drawing 100% what you think I am. This was a crucial moment in this story that I was like, what if I just not did it? And when I was finished with volume 4 the way I had it, I was like, man, if I don't include this scene, I will forever be mad at myself. I'm like 20 minutes behind watching in double speed to catch up, but just in case I forget to ask, what do you think of iconic what do you think of the Common America VTuber announcement? Seems like a good marketing idea if you have a person willing to be the streamer. I think it's good. I think it's great. I mean, I don't still know what their plans are with it. Like if they have someone who's gonna stream for them and do it, absolutely. I think it's a great idea. Been mingling with a lot of VTubers lately, so it's interesting to see what felt like a crossover play out. Shilava, the woman who's been doing the voice Common America and promotional material as well as the songs, is reprising her role as the VTuber version of the character. Yeah, I'm wondering though if she is like, is she doing that like as a full-time like gig? Was it just for this moment? I mean, I'm sure I could call up Tim and he could tell me, and I just don't tell you guys. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was cool. I watched it. See, those are guys that you know, you look at and you go, okay, like these guys have their like their pulse on not just their community, but also their customers and what they're wanting. I mean, people like VTubers, and it's gotta they, you know, there's a community that like Tim and Mark aren't stupid. Like I remember talking to Tim once and asking him a question, and then he gave me like a really stupid response, and I was like, Tim, I know you're not dumb. I think a big thing to remember with what those guys are doing and have done, and it's something that I've thought about a lot every time I've talked with Tim, is that Common America's success is just because you have these two dudes who are really good friends, and they just want to make something fun, and they're having fun, and fun dictates a lot of their business decisions. But they're also not stupid. They know what they're doing. Look, let's see if I pull this up. Let's see if I can find it. No, I don't see it. Can't find the thing I'm looking for. All right. My only issue with the way they do things is they seem to dump a ton of money up front for their projects in a way that's hard to replicate. Well, they do. They do. I mean, here's the thing. Let me give you some advice, Nanji. Don't replicate them. Like, you'll lose. Like, you will lose so fast trying to replicate them. You have to figure out what to do for yourself. Don't try to replicate them. You're not going to be able to. Like, Tim and Mark, when that first Common America hit, like, it did like 20,000. They were smart. They created what they called a war chest, and they went, okay, like, let's invest this. Let's reinvest this into growing. Because you have to remember, like, these guys, like, they do it all themselves. Granted, like, Iconic Comics does, like, their shipping and stuff. But, like, when it comes to, like, they don't have to pay a writer. That's Mark. They don't have to pay like a line artist or a colorist, like a letter. That's all Tim. They don't have to pay for pre-press. So, don't try to replicate them. Trust me. Like work with what you can do. Okay. Because I promise you, if you try to replicate them, you'll burn out so quick. Find your own ninja way. 100% how you do it, man. Got Animane in here. Well, Storm Corey HQ. Let's get the names right. All right. The easy part's done. Now we gotta freaking. Okay. Let's just draw it. Different. We do it on a different layer. Come on, Tyler. Different layer. Tyler, come on. Let's just do it with this. Yeah, like, I'll tell you this, Nanji, and anyone who wants to attempt to do what Tim and Mark are doing, Like if you don't have a property that hits like Common America does, and you try to replicate their success and try to like do it like you're gonna be in a pain of hurt. Now with that being said, there are a lot of things that they have done that you could replicate, some techniques, some tactics. And that's why I say like success leaves clues. So like just look at what they're doing. Like and try to go, okay, like what are they doing that I can potentially do for myself? That's doable for me. Okay. Now, you know what I should have done is I should have freaking got one of these out and I could have just followed the freaking lines. So that sucks. We made an oopsies. Also, a lot of people forget like why Tim and Mark are successful. They look at some of a lot of people will look at like the shallow reasons of what make them successful. At the beginning, what made them, you know, because oh, you gotta have a good property. Yes, you gotta have to have a good property, 100%. But you have to remember, like, if you knew, like, you have to understand, like, the context of, oh, Tyler, really? You just drew this line? We just combined layers, Tyler, without thinking? That's what we did? We combined layers without thinking? That's what we did? You have to remember the context. Like, during the time that they came up, a lot of people were complaining in the crowdfunding scene about late books. And so they were like, okay, like, let's freaking solve this problem. So they create Iconic Comics with someone, and they figure out their fulfillment service. They're like, okay, how do we fulfill? How do we make this happen? How do we make it so people like aren't pissed off at us? And that's what they went to solve that problem. And so and then people were also complaining about the price of books. People were complaining about late prices and high prices. Sorry, late books and high prices. So what do? They solve it. They give you a $10 hardcover on time. And they took a huge risk. It could have effing flopped. All right, this is where this page gets even harder. It's like it could have really flopped for them. They dropped Common America during a perfect storm of outside conditions. Peak faith in crowdfunding, peak anger at the failing mainstream before apathy started setting in. Capitalized on the crowdfunding explosion caused by the pandemic and rode the wave with quality and great customer service. 100%. 100%. What digitals you get? Oh, I got a couple digitals as a joke. Now I'm deep. Gotcha, gotcha. I'll tell you what got me was Black Ops. Like I like Black Ops a lot. And at the time, at the time, I was like getting into like I was creating chefs. Hey Tyler, question: favorite Common Court member? Why is it obviously Misha? It's not Misha. I like Kamiko. I like myself a good old common ramen. But like I said, I'm not even like a common like I'm not even like a big Common American fan. I'm a Black Ops dude. Like give me a Penelope. I'm a Penelope fan. All right, we're almost freaking done with this. This is Has your wife ever read the crowdfunded books that you back? No, she doesn't read anything that I that I buy. She's an avid reader though. Like she reads a ton. But like nothing like comic related. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's see, Griffith. Thoughts on Ben Dunn saying manga would be dead in a couple of years because it's all the same and lacked creativity? I don't believe that. I don't know. I think I'd have to hear the whole thing of what Ben says. But I mean, I think if he was saying if manga had that problem, then like he could foresee that happening, then yeah, I just don't think manga has a problem of being lacking creativity. Like I don't think manga has that problem at all. All right, there we go. Like with anything, like with anything, like they're like too much of a good thing can always go south. Like that's true of everything. And manga isn't like the end all be all. Okay, I'm sure Western comics will then come back and then have their moment, and then manga will have their moment. Webtoons moment is probably next. Yeah, Webtoons moment is gonna happen soon. And when I say Webtoons moment, because it's already having a moment, I'm talking about like finally like people on ours in like our communities finally going, oh, so there's this thing called Webtoons, and that I think that's when people start. And then by that time, like I remember being on Global Frequency once, and they were like, Tyler, what's the next like thing? And I was like, whatever it is, it's already happening, and like none of us know about it because we just don't know. Okay. Pretty proud of this. Let's just add some rocks and we're freaking good, man. Some like darker rocks, and then they'll be a little bigger. And then we'll do just like two big ones.
be flying out like right here. There we go. I don't like this one. Rocks, boom. Let's give them like a darker outline. And then if we add all right. What time is it? It's 10 o'clock. I think this is good for the night. You know, there's probably some button I could press to make this so I don't have to use an eraser, but we're lazy. Late night drawing tonight. I think for the stream we're gonna end it. Because I do want to package up some books for some people. You know, make sure they get them. My editor was like, I forgot to get Patrick his freaking books, man. It's like, dude, I get copies of these books, right? I'm like, yeah, you always do. Did I not send them? Nope. Oops. Oh, look. I didn't have to freaking do all that erasing. Whatever. All right. Dude, how's that? That's a pretty kick-ass page. I like that. So then when we gray tone it, you know, we'll put a sky back there, obviously, and then I think this looks good. I dig it. I dig it a lot. Didn't know you were streaming tonight, or I'd been here sooner for Silly Goose time. Oh, don't worry, it was just a draw stream. I'm thinking though. I want to, dude, like, be honest in the chat. If you're watching, be honest. Where's this music? Turn it off. Dude, I want to so bad. So bad. I want to get into Yu-Gi-Oh! So bad. It's just so not productive. It's just so not productive. But I want to stream myself playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And then you guys can just see me scream and get mad. But here's the thing, like, I can't stream because my streaming days are like, right now it's all about that pre-recorded content. It's all about that pre-recorded content right now because like I said earlier in the stream, I'm renovating my basement, and I'm going out of town a bunch. So all the content that I need to be making is all the content that I need to be. What about happened to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Mobile game I got you addicted to? Which one was that? So like I won't be able to stream at some point because I won't have access to a quiet enough place in my house to stream. So if anything, we might do fake lives. We'll probably have to do some fake lives, and whatnot, and we'll be doing a ton of like pre-recorded content on stuff. So that'll be the gist. So yeah, maybe I'll have to do some maybe I'll have to do some fake lives while we renovate the basement. Yeah, we'll figure something out. We will figure something out. Dude, I'm really proud with how this page turned out. I think it turned out great. Fantastic. Actually, you know what? Let's just make bad decisions right now. Give little highlights. All right, there we go. Just gotta. It turned out well, Tyler. Thank you. Thank you. We're proud of this. So, all right, I gotta send over a 6-pager to Tommy. This is what we see. I was hoping to get into this tonight, these 2 pages as well, but it's I don't think it's happening. But yeah, I was totally gonna skip out on this scene. I think it was Master Duel. Yeah, dude, I'm trying to get back into that, Ichthus. I'm trying to get back into that. It's just I sucked so bad at it that I hated it. But yeah, I was gonna skip this whole chapter, and it just when I was done with the book, I was like, I have to draw this chapter, otherwise I'm gonna hate myself. And it's a conversation with Eliana and Angeal. And it gets freaking heated. So, all right. Guys, you have to embrace the suck. Yes. Well, I finally realized, hold on, I got fart. I finally realized what I was totally not understanding about Master Duel. It's that in the new meta of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is you're not like playing against your opponent to react back and forth to them. What you're doing is you're playing against yourself. So you create a deck, you play against yourself, and you're just trying to see who can win faster with their deck. Like, you're not like, it's not like, oh, I play this card and end my turn, and then you play your card. I go, oh, okay, what am I going to do now that you played that card? Like, what card do I have to destroy that card? And now it's okay, I'm going to play my card, and hopefully my card's going to do something for me that I can do this with myself in my deck so that I can pull this card out for myself, and then this card's going to help me do this, and then I'm going to draw more cards so I can get the thing that I need, then I win. Whereas, like, old Yu-Gi-Oh! Was like, oh, they put this card down. Like, how am I going to get out of this? Hopefully I have a card in my deck that can help me get out of this. And it was like this fun, like, back and forth, like, play, react, play. And now now that I understand that you build a deck to basically essentially play against yourself plus against the opponent, it helped me understand it a little bit more. So, all right, I've got to get this thing over to Tommy. I've got to get some Bullet Assassins shipped out to some people. Let's go. Let's find some like good bye-bye music. Let's see. This one's called "Will You Dance with Me?" This is just what we're gonna. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this one. All right. Let's see how it is. Okay. You guys have a great weekend.
see you guys on Monday. If not, we're launching Bold Assassin #2 on Wednesday. Link in the chat, link in the description.